Alright, so I just got word from Austin that our stuff is ready. The valve cover, pipe. So next time you see this, we're going to be at... That's right. You see the big truck and the big building? So yes, this is the guys that did my wheels on the ZR1. And look at that beauty. You've seen Austin. This is the other man here.
I know.
And this is all these cool saddles.
Yeah.
Awesome, that's my stuff. All right, let me get the old checkbook out. So this is for this car right now, and the blue valve cover I showed you is for an upcoming build. I'm not going to show you it right away, but I'll wait until it goes on the car. But look at that, that is beautiful. So again, check these guys out. AB Powder Coating. These guys do awesome work. They work their ass off, and they do all of our stuff. Andrew, this stuff looks fantastic. That's all right. This stuff looks great, by the way.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. So I just got a text from George. What do you think that means? It means I gotta go pick up more toilet paper. So that was funny. I was just talking to Andrew there. That's the other gentleman at AB. Austin is out eating somewhere or doing something. Who knows what he's doing? Probably delivering parts or picking parts up. So it's funny how I met those guys is we would occasionally put a Instagram or a Facebook picture up of a car and say guess the horsepower, or you know, guess the number of tires on the car, or guess the cylinders, or that'd be silly. And long story, Austin made a guess and he hit it right on the money. And we did like a Facebook live video and said, you know, the winner of this t-shirt is Austin. And he came over to pick up his t-shirt and said, hey, by the way, we do a powder coat. Here's my business card. And I mentioned this before, I'm not going to mention the names, but we have two powder coat companies that I've used. One of them I've used off and on for 15 years. The other one is fairly new. The one that I used for 15 years did excellent powder coat, but there were the other side of Tampa, which is about 30 miles away from here, and they were pretty pricey. And I'm not one to beat people up on pricing, because I believe if someone charges you a certain amount, as long as it's not ridiculous, but if they charge you a certain amount and it's exactly what you want and you feel good getting it for the price, that's the price. I don't beat people up on their pricing. The other shop were on the higher end, but their work was really good, and it was the inconvenience of driving 30 miles to get my stuff. And if I needed to drop something off, 30 miles when you're dealing with Tampa is not half an hour's drive. It's a 2-hour drive. That's if you don't run into traffic or some knucklehead on the bridge that's dropped a refrigerator at the back of his truck, or someone that thinks it's raining and, you know, puts his four-wheel flashers on and drives as fast as he can because he wants to get home before the rain. So the other guy was cheap. He was cheap and cheerful, kind of like a funny, you know, you take him 10 pieces over. How much to do this? 30 bucks. 30 bucks, are you sure? Yeah, that's good. And he would powder coat, you know, too much stuff for 30 bucks. And I used to often say to him, listen, don't undercut yourself. 30 bucks is too cheap. I appreciate you giving me a deal, but I don't want you to be so cheap because you want to earn my business that either A, you got a business, or B, you start doing crappy work. Well, unfortunately, the second one started to show its ugly head. It started to get just, stuff was sucking. It was full of pit holes and areas that it was too thick and too thin, and you know, I would try and bring it to his attention. This is another learning lesson. If somebody does wrong by you, go back to that person and be reasonable and say, listen, this isn't quite what I wanted. Give them a chance to fix it. Most good guys will fix it. If you don't go back and you blab to your friend or blab on the internet, well, you're not fixing the problem, you're hurting the problem, because that person ain't gonna fix it after you badmouth them. They're not gonna take care of the problem. Tell me how I know. So his quality went down. I mentioned it a couple of times and said, hey, he just did some wheels for me. These are flat out terrible. And he goes, well, you know, I charged you 200 bucks for 4 wheels. I go, well, that's not what I was looking for. You could have charged me $500 for 4 wheels, but I wanted good quality work. I didn't want cheap work. So I was right between the cheap guy and the expensive guy. Austin literally came walking in the shop, and he, again, I like people with enthusiasm. If they're enthusiastic, they're into what they do, you know, their hands are dirty, they've got paint on their hands, they're into what they do. That's my kind of guy. So he comes in, I said, you know what, let me send you a couple of things. His stuff is fantastic. It's as good, if not better, than my other guy that was more expensive, and his pricing, I think, is very, very fair. And they work their ass off. So there's my ramble. I've just rambled for 4 minutes about powder cutting. All right, so they inform me we are down to DEFCON 4. Oops. Not gonna point any fingers, but before we had a girl working at LHT, we would buy a big pack of toilet paper. It'd last all year. So not pointing any fingers, no. So back to the shop. Hi, George.
Yes.
I got your email. That was hilarious. Look at that. That's a full-on rainbow right there. That, my friend, is a rainbow.
That's nice, huh?
That's it. Don't get better than that. Okay, so do you want to see a demo of the LED lights? Watch behind me. You ready? Is that bright or what? Each one of them is 800 watts. The old lights were 300. So 800, 800, 1600 versus 600. I'm good at math, right? And the fan is working. And again, it's not the big fan, it's the cheaper alternative. I wanted the big fan, but for that size it was like $3 grand. This one was 700, and so far I'm happy with it. It moves a ton of air. It keeps the shop circulated. We have air conditioning, so we're not relying on the fan to cool the air. We just need it to recirculate. The AC would blow out over here and form a jet of air right there. So if you're standing there, it was freezing. Over there was hot. So by circulating the air, it just feels much more comfortable in here. So I would say mission accomplished. I'm very excited with it. Look how bright that is. You know what this means? She's back! Esther is back. Things are gonna get back to a little bit more normalcy now, if that's even a word, normalcy. Either she fixed her little girl or she traded her for an S2000. So Esther is back, phones are gonna get answered. Don't panic, we're still in town. We didn't run away with your money, and we're eating fairly healthy.
And we forgot to say
thank you so much for the HP sauce and tea bags. He came by all the way from England.
All the way from England.
Hit me up on Instagram, said, do you need anything from England? And I said, this stuff and tea bags. And he brought us it, so we gave him some shirts and a little bit of LHT swag. So thank you. I totally forgot to take a picture of you while you was here. So safe travels, and hopefully we see you again soon. You want to get an idea when I turn off the lights? You ready? And that's just with the fluorescent lights that we have in the shop. So big difference on those lights. Very happy with them. Plug that. I'm actually getting out of here. It's a little after 6. It's time to go home. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you do, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, smash the like button, all that good stuff. I'll talk to you next time.